Hey everybody, this is Kenny C here with another edition of Triple Threat Wrestling Radio here on October 6, 2011. Tonight, we'll recap Hell in a Cell, Monday Night Raw, Impact. We also got some other wrestling related news, and we got an interview with indie pro wrestler Lucky O'Shea. All that and more coming up momentarily on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And before I go any further, I want to say shout out to Tara Calloway. She has a takedown breast cancer project that she's working on all month in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. All you gotta do is go to her website www.theterracalloway.com. That's TERRACALAWAY.com and find out how you can donate some money or you can purchase some takedown breast cancer photos from Tara. More info, go to theterracalloway.com for more info. So Tara, if you're listening or you happen to listen, thank you for what you're doing. It's all for a good cause, and much love to you. Everybody remember Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we're getting ready to begin here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Hey wrestling fans on the ITMI radio feed, and welcome to the show known as Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You're listening to us right here on itmiradio.com. Let me go ahead and get Jeff on the call so we can talk all things wrestling for the next, according to my clock, 58 minutes. 60 minutes to be exact, but you get the idea. I see Fozzy, I see Stormy, Andrew, and Jeff, and myself.
What's up, man?
I'm good, and you?
Good.
So tonight, we're going to recap Hell in a Cell. We're going to recap Monday Night Raw and Impact of last week. Got an interview with Lucky O'Shea and some other WWE and TNA news that's going on. So let's just go ahead and get to Hell in a Cell, because obviously the bigger story was from this past Monday night. So we're going to get some Hell in a Cell recap out of the way. The Sin Cara match, not that much into it that much. But then again, it's like the first time that two light heavyweights and cruiserweights competed. But Blue Sin Cara defeated the Black Man Sin Cara. You also had Cody Rhodes brought back the old school Intercontinental title. He defeated John Morrison. Eric Boone defeated Ziggler and Swagger. Beth Phoenix, third attempt is the charm. She defeated Kelly. She's now the fourth diva in WWE history to win both divas and women's titles. The other three are Mickie James, Melina, and Michelle McCool. Let's see. Sheamus defeated Christian. Sheamus is on a winning streak. He's on a winning streak. Randy Orton loses to Mark Henry. Mark Henry is still the world champion. And of course, Del Rio, who locked Cena inside the Hell in a Cell and pretty much hit Punk with the pipe. Went on to become a two-time WWE champion. I know you like that, Jeff. But obviously the main talk about Hell in a Cell is what Miz and R-Truth did. Miz and R-Truth kicked off Hell in a Cell trying to get into the front row. They get escorted by John Laurinaitis. And then moments after the main event was over, they got into the ring and attacked everybody. Cena, Punk, Del Rio, referees, and cameramen got hurt. Policemen had to get some, what you call those things, pliers to unlock the chains or whatever.
Yeah, whatchamacallit, snips.
Snips. They had to get the snips to get the chains loose so they can open the cell.
Yeah.
And of course, Miz and Truth ended up being arrested. And Triple H, as Miz and R-Truth were on their way into the police car, they get it. Triple H ambushed them. And that may have led into what happened on Monday night. And I do have some breaking news on Triple H status as COO. This just was posted on WWE.com just about a little over 30 minutes ago. So despite what happened, despite the no vote of confidence, this is for an article on WWE.com just 30 minutes ago. WWE Chief Operating Officer Triple H vows to absolutely not step down for running WWE World Super Show. Furthermore, Triple H vows that Cena, Punk, Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show, who makes his SmackDown return tomorrow night, will headline the Monday Night Raw Super Show telecast. It will take place at Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So Triple H, despite the no vote of confidence, still in charge for the time being.
I told you.
But that's what it is for now.
Why weren't those guys out front? Did they say?
Well, WWE obviously not going to say anything because that's part of the storyline. Obviously, the vote of confidence from this past Monday night, when a couple of superstars were missing: Cena, Orton, Punk, Sheamus, Eve, and Kelly. Nowhere to be found in the vote of confidence segment this past Monday night.
Yeah, why was that?
WWE apparently, as you saw the superstars, everybody was booing as they were just leaving. I guess they were afraid of, because of the character that all those wrestlers, I guess they were afraid that they were gonna get booed. That's just my assumption, you know. But I don't think it would have mattered if they were there or not, because pretty much everybody walked out on Triple H. They felt that even though it's not all his fault, that is what Jerry King Lawler said, you know, everybody's paying for it.
Yeah, so they're going to bring them all out with him at the beginning of the show, and they're all going to say, well, we back him. That's what's going to happen.
So Triple H, still in charge for the time being. That's the key word, for the time being. Even with the no vote of confidence, at some point, he's going to have to step down. All because of the no vote of confidence. See, Triple H's position is like being the head coach. You got to have the confidence of your players and the front office. And if you don't have their support, then you're not going to be in that position for very long. That's just how it goes. Yeah, Triple H did went crazy at Hell in a Cell. He really did. My thing is, with Vengeance coming up in a couple of weeks, and this is just a assumption, okay? I don't have sources like a lot of people, but my assumption is that at Vengeance pay-per-view coming up, it may be between Triple H versus Miz and R-Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because even with this lawsuit going on, it's only a matter of time before Miz and R-Truth get back in there and competing. So they want to settle their differences with Triple H, then it might as well be in the ring. So that's the breaking news. Triple H has.
Hey, I have right now in front of me, Jerry the King Lawler talks to YouTube to shed light on his Raw walkout. I have the video. You want me to play it?
Yeah,
Or do you have it?
No, actually, I don't have it in front of me, but I did hear it like yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it. And let's not forget, when that whole walked out thing started it, Jerry the King Lawler was the first to do it. And according to that video, he did not know that everybody else was going to walk out on Triple H. Do you truly believe Jerry the King Lawler?
No, that whole thing was set up. They all knew what everybody was going to do before they all walked out there. That whole thing was written like that. Come on.
So, Jerry the King Lawler, he just got back from injury.
And you know why? You know why Triple H is still in charge? Because the fans like what Triple H is doing, and that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters.
Well, fans...
That's the bottom line.
fans can have a matter, but
That's the bottom line.
board of directors they're gonna take what
Yeah,
they're gonna.
but if the fans don't want him to go, he's gone. He's not going to go nowhere. That's the bottom line. If you piss the fans off, you're going to have no fans, and the fans are going to stop coming, and you're going to lose money. They know that as well as anybody else. That's why he's still in charge.
Well, like I said, he is in charge. He is staying put. He vows to be there on Monday night. But that's only for the time being. I say he'll probably end up being COO up until Vengeance, and they start looking for a new person in charge. And
I think what's going to happen is he's going to say, okay, here's the deal. I'll wrestle those two schmucks. If I lose, I'm out. If I win, all you guys come back and shut the hell up and fight like men.
I mean, I would rather have Triple H in charge than a guy who sounds like he has a sinus infection. John Laurinaitis. And Laurinaitis, let's not forget, he was the one that convinced Triple H into having that vote of confidence. He had to hit with the are you scared? Normally when someone say, oh, I'm not going to do this, and someone say, well, you're not going to do this because you're scared, of course, manhood is questioning. So Triple H was screwed for the get-go. I personally thought it was going to be 50-50. But everybody walked out. And even if, Cena, Orton, Punk, and Kelly and Sheamus and Eve, even if they were there, it wouldn't matter. The announcers left. The cameramen left. I mean, they have a legitimate point at least. It's funny how Ray Barrett wants to run his mouth about Triple H when about a year and a half ago he led a group called Nexus and destroyed every single wrestler and destroyed the ring. Talk about a hypocrite. Ray Barrett is. But there's your recap of Hell in a Cell. Also, there was a 12-man tag team match. Cena and his team won. But Cena didn't get the pinfall. It was Sheamus.
Yeah.
The dude, he's gaining momentum. And with Randy Orton losing to Sheamus, when he losing to Mark Henry, excuse me, this has to put Sheamus in a title hunt at some point. Fozzy goes on to say, it could have been worse if Triple H lost it. Could have been Vicky as the boss. Ugh. I don't see Vicky being in charge of anything except for her stable under Ziggler and Swagger. I guess WWE trying to make her look like to be the next big manager and valet, kind of like Bobby Lee Brand Heating, Jimmy Hart, Miss Elizabeth, something like that. That's what she's pretty much been throughout her WWE career, especially since the passing of Eddie. So Triple H needs to stay in his job and keep. Yeah, he just need to have better control. That's what it all boils down to. And Triple H said some things that kind of, he admitted that this whole COO thing wasn't going to be as easy as he thought. He admitted that he loves chaos. No pun intended to the guy who owns TTW Radio. He pretty much admitted that, hey, I like craziness. I like things out of control. I like see people beating the hell out of each other. But ain't it about the fans? Aren't they the reason that you are in this show every single week?
Yep.
So yeah, the referees were talking. Referees get beat up all the time, but I guess referees like, oh, I'm afraid of getting to work. And then you have Beth Phoenix speaking on the Divas. Let's face it, nothing has really happened to the Divas since Triple H got in charge. And that Kelly went off doesn't even count, because that was supposed to be a tag team match and it just didn't happen. because Kelly lost her mind when went after Beth Phoenix. So you know those two are gonna face each other again. You know, since Kelly's the former champion, she's gonna get her rematch. Uh, Andrew says all she's going to say is excuse me all the time if she's the cool. Yeah. But let me ask y'all this. What y'all thoughts about Cody Rhodes bringing the old school Intercontinental title belt? He talks about wants to bring, significance back into the Intercontinental title. Now, of course, Cody Rhodes been Intercontinental champion for about a couple of months now, and he still has that face mask on him. I actually like the Intercontinental title. I kind of wish they, enough with the spinner belt. Change that belt. And while we talking championship belts, you know what championship belts needs to be changed? Those hideous tag team titles. I mean, aren't they supposed to be gold? Not no bronze? Are you kidding me? Those tag team titles are like the ugliest championship belts in WWE history. And remember when the Hart Dynasty were champions, it was Bret the Hitman Hart who introduced those new tag team title belts. Yeah, they need to get rid of those belts. And I think it's just time for WWE to change that WWE title belt as well. I mean, it's called the spinner belt, yet everybody who has a championship doesn't even spin the belt. So what's the point having a spinner belt if you're not going to spin it? Not everybody, with the exception of Cena, he invented the spinner championship belt when he won the United States title and, of course, the WWE title. So, yeah, I like the Intercontinental title belt. I like it. Takes it back to the old days. Takes it back to the Randy Savage days. Other WWE news, and I'm glad that Andrew brought this up. Darren Young has been suspended. The former Nexus member, current NXT contestant, has been suspended for 30 days. Let's just get right to the point instead of WWE being technical about it. He got suspended because of drugs, because of steroids. WWE has this wellness policy program that's been going on for a couple of years now. And Darren Young, Fozzy, he was part of the Nexus. He was part of the Nexus. He was on NXT season 1, and he was part of the Nexus, and he was the first to be kicked off the Nexus, if I recall. So yeah, he's pretty much irrelevant. But WWE did what they have to do as far as suspending him. The only time you're gonna see Darren Young is on NXT and Superstars, and both of those shows are on the internet. Speaking of Superstars, that show was canceled 2 weeks ago on WWE.com. Now they brought that show back. And for those who actually care about NXT, which is still going on to this day, it's no longer on Tuesday nights. It's now on Wednesday afternoons. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. NXT.WWE.com. For those who actually care. So yeah, there you go. There's a lot of talk about what would happen if... There's a lot of stuff happening on what happens if Triple H were to be forced to step down. People are saying maybe Shawn Michaels may be in the mix. Yeah, Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Don't forget, Vengeance pay-per-view is coming to his hometown of San Antonio, Texas. And he probably will be there just to promote the upcoming WWE DVD entitled Greatest Rivalries, Shawn Michaels versus Bret the Hitman Hart. That DVD is going to be pretty much an in-depth look into their rivalry. and talk about the Montreal Screwjob and some of the other great matches, like the Iron Man match they have. So, Shawn Michaels will probably be making some appearances in the WWE leading up to that DVD release. He may be there at Vengeance. He may. He may be in the hunt for the COO position if Triple H does step down. Fozzy says, I already got the call. If he loses his job, I might take it. I mean, I don't want to be no COO. It's funny. Why can't someone just say the word cool instead of COO? Just say cool minus the L part.
Cool, man. Cool.
I'm the cool of the WWE. The chief operating officer. I'll figure out the L part. But yeah, cool sounds a lot better than saying COO. You end up saying CO no. Or C Ocho Cinco or something. I don't know. In other wrestling news, David Arquette, former WCW champion, current contestant of Dancing with the Stars, will be dancing another week. He had a pretty good week, I guess. So Fozzy said he has a little theory on HBK. And while we wait for it, I think Laurinaitis, he's been texting someone that could be HBK. You know what, Fozzy? That's a great point. Laurinaitis, he's been doing a lot of texting as of late. And knowing that what's going on with Triple H, he may be texting the potential replacement. How bizarre would that be if Shawn Michaels had to replace his best friend as the COO? Speaking of WWE, that is a possibility. Vengeance coming up in his hometown, San Antonio, Texas.
Maybe Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah, he's gonna make occasional appearances, and I don't know. Austin or Michaels will probably be a good, as long as it's not Laurinaitis. At least
Laurinaitis, you know what? I can't stand that son of a bitch. Somebody needs to beat the living crap out of him.
He sounds like he has a sinus infection.
Maybe it's gonna be that Triple H is gonna fight. If he wins, he stays. If he wins, he stays, and Laurinaitis goes. If he loses, he goes, and Laurinaitis stays. That could be it right there. Because something's got to happen with that douchebag. Hey, I'm talent raping. Fuck you.
No, it's the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations.
That thing is so long. Why don't you just say, I'm a douchebag?
Or just say that you're the EVP. Executive Vice. EVP.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable, man.
Yeah, that's... I just can't get over his voice. He sounds like he's sick. He's under the weather.
He is. He's sick in the fucking head, this douchebag. I don't know how you can get away with that. I don't know. And I don't understand why Triple H didn't see what happened on the outside of the ring when he watched the tape. Because I know he watched the tape of that fight. He didn't see John Laurinaitis pull one guy out and then send him in there to get Triple H and then try to get the other. He didn't see that? Come on.
From Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
Oh, here's what I know.
No, not from Hell in a Cell. When Triple H, when he wrestled.
Oh, yeah, from Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laurinaitis was there, trying to get involved. Miz and R-Truth was there. Obviously, like Jerry King Lawler said, there is a conspiracy. Someone's pulling the strings. Someone does not want him to be in charge as COO. And we could assume that it is Laurinaitis all we want, but we got to get some proof. We got to get some evidence, obviously.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they just looking for... Triple H has to fill in the blanks right now. He needs to find proof that someone is really involved in all this. I mean, maybe it's Vince McMahon. I mean, he's been MIA for a long time. Maybe he's pulling the strings. He still is the chairman. He's just not doing the day-to-day operations. You know,
Right.
maybe he's upset because Triple H went on national television and said that he's been relieved of his day-to-day duties. Maybe maybe CM Punk may be onto something. Maybe it's Stephanie McMahon. You know, she's got some power here and there. Or maybe it's Laurinaitis. But right now, Triple H just has to fill in the blanks right now. He needs to retrace some steps, kind of like what he did, finding out that Kevin Nash sent that text himself. You know, so he has to do some investigation right now, just to show some proof that that he's not the one responsible for all the madness. Someone else is.
Right.
So until he finds out who's behind it, then then he's gonna be scrutinized. He's gonna be
Yes, he is.
he's gonna be scrutinized for it. And we have a Snooky King just joined us. There are rumors that Vince will be back on screen soon. So yeah, Vince McMahon, he's just pretty much taking a break from television right now. You know, we haven't seen him since the day after Money in the Bank in July. So yeah, Vince McMahon ain't gonna stay off that TV for very long.
No, man. Are you kidding me?
No, he's just taking a break. He said, Triple H, I want you to hold the fork down, and I'm gonna come back and do what I do.
Right. That's what probably is going to happen. You know that.
So
As well
yeah.
as I do.
So Vengeance is coming up. No matches have yet to be announced, but I'm sure we have some matches to be announced soon. Battle for Glory, the TNA pay-per-view, that's coming up in about a week and a half from now in Philadelphia. We're gonna make our picks for it next week. We're gonna make our picks for it next week. And Snooky King. If you don't like that username, all you gotta do is click on your name on the chat room, and you can change your name. Yeah, just click your name on the chat list over there on the right side, and you can change your name. So I'm getting ready to go ahead and call our guest of the evening. Her name is Lucky O'Shea.
Lucky O'Shea. Is she lucky?
I'll ask her that.
Remember. What was the first question you're supposed to ask her?
Ask her, is she lucky? Do you consider yourself lucky?
Right.
All right. So let me go ahead.
You actually got to call her?
Yeah, she got out of work.
Wow, so you got her phone number, huh? Ooh, sexy thing. Check you out.
You funny. You real funny, man.
I know.
So we're gonna try.
That's why you keep me around.
Obviously. Now I got this button on the hang up thing just in case if the voice message pops.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Make sure you hang up on her, so not the whole show.
I know.
Hello?
There she is.
Hey, Lucky.
Hi.
This is Jeff and Kenny C from Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You're live on the air. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing real good. Thank you for being our guest of the evening.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Hello, Lucky.
Hello? Who's this?
This is Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah, hence the name of the show. You know, we do a show called Chillin' with Jeff and Kenny C. I'm Jeff. Now we also do a show.
Okay.
We also do a show called Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, which we co-host together as well.
Oh, very cool. So you guys are like partners in crime.
Yes, you could say that.
Yeah, you can say that.
So thank you for being with us tonight. Appreciate it.
No problem. No problem at all.
Now, Kenny, ask her that first question.
Okay.
Okay.
My question, well, technically Jeff's question. He wants to know, do you really consider yourself lucky?
Do I consider myself lucky? Actually, yes, I do. I have a very blessed and lucky life. My fiance, TJ Perkins, and I, we've had a lot of like hardships, but we've always managed to get through them. We've been very blessed with everything we've been given. So Yeah, I would consider myself lucky. The name kind of speaks for itself.
There's your
Well,
answer.
there you have it.
Oh,
Now, is that your real name?
Is that my real name?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not.
Okay.
If my real
No,
name was Lucky, I think I'd be kind of angry at my parents.
Well, no, because I had a childhood friend growing up, and his real name was Lucky.
Oh, and he was a he.
Yeah, he was a
Is he
he.
angry at his parents too?
No, actually, he was the luckiest son of a bitch I ever met in my life.
Yeah, no, it's not my real name. I
Oh,
get
okay.
teased a lot for it being my wrestling name, so I think I would have gotten teased a lot growing up if that was my real name.
He loved being teased about it. I mean, he was the luckiest son of a bitch around, so he didn't care.
all right. Well, Lucky, why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners about your wrestling career and how they got started?
Well, I actually got started in wrestling when I was 14. I discovered a school. Well, I've always been a fan of wrestling ever since I was about 6. And I've always done gymnastics and cheerleading, and I've always just been very active as a child and a teenager. And my friends and I, we'd always play wrestler in the pool or in the backyard. The best part is it's just a big group of girls that were wrestling each other, and we're all fans of it. And so finally one day, my girlfriend Rachel actually was doing like research and everything and just told me about a school that she had found, which is Rick Drayson's school in Van Nuys, California. So by then I had turned, it was right before my 15th birthday, like literally a month before my 15th birthday. So I just went in with my dad and I was like, Dad, I really want to do this after sitting in on one practice. So my dad wrote the check and I enrolled in the school and just started wrestling at 15. I stayed at Rick Drayson's for maybe only about 6 or 8 months. So I learned like the flat basics there, and that was not to step on any toes, but that was about all I was going to be able to learn there. They weren't really equipped to teach me everything I wanted to know because at that time especially at that time, I was really hungry and wanted to learn everything. I was a really big fan of Lucha Libre, so I really wanted to focus on doing stuff like that. So through that, I found a school called Venus, which was in Brea, California. That school has since shut down, but it was mainly an all-girls school until girls just weren't around, so then it became a mix of a class for boys and girls. And there I got to learn a little bit more about the lucha style. And then after that school closed down, I went to Santino Pose, which is in Los Angeles, California. So I was there for a little while. But then eventually I went to what I'm probably maybe a little bit more known for where I started was EWF, Jesse Hernandez's school. And there was where I really expanded my knowledge of like wrestling, and like Jesse just has so much knowledge. He's been around the business so long that, you know, learning from him was really great. And I also met my now fiance, TJ Perkins was my full-time trainer there, and I was at the gym every practice. I was there like 4 times a week, every night. And it was like a 3-hour drive from where I lived because I grew up in Woodland Hills, California. So driving from Woodland Hills to San Bernardino in traffic every day was like a bitch for my mother because I didn't drive. So my mom was always really supportive and drove me everywhere. And then eventually I moved in with TJ in Riverside, so it was much closer. So we were always, you know, going to the school every day. After that, then I took a huge step, a huge leap of faith, and I went to FCW in Florida. So I moved there with PJ in 2008, and there I got to train with Norman Smiley and Steve Kern and some of the current and past WWE superstars that we saw. Like I worked out with Brittany Bede, who, if you saw her on NXT, she was Jamie Keys. I got to work out with her a lot. And just people like that. I don't know, you know, we met just a lot of people. I got to meet Sheamus. I got to meet, what's his name? Justin Gabriel and like those guys when they were in FCW at the time. And I was there for about a year. Then I just started training kind of on my own with TJ at random little rings. And I moved back to California in the end of 2010. Started training at Mach 1 again. Started doing more stuff with NWA Hollywood, which is now what I'm currently doing, is just, you know, I'm still training at Jesse's school, once in a while I go back there to work out, or I would go to Mach 1. And now I'm just kind of wrestling and trying to keep sharp with everything that I've learned over the years.
All right. You mentioned
I kind of
Sheamus.
rambled.
No, that's okay. That's all right. Uh, well, let me ask you this. You mentioned Sheamus and Justin Gabriel. You know them. You've seen them way before they got into the WWE roster. What's your thoughts on where they are right now?
Oh, I think it's amazing. I think it's completely amazing. But when I met them at FCW, like TJ would roll around with them and stuff, and they were always those guys. They stand out in my mind because they were just the nicest guys. Like you could talk to them, you know. But it's great. Like you saw when you watched them at FCW, you could see like, oh, they're gonna make it to the main roster. You know, like you just knew they were gonna get there. Because there's some guys that are still in developmental that were there the 2 years ago, no, 3 years ago when TJ and I were there. And those are sometimes you just wonder if they're ever going to get out of developmental. But then there's always a handful of people that, like, when you see them, you're like, oh, they're not going to be here long. They're going up to the main roster very soon. And sure enough, those guys did. Just like Jamie Keys did, you know. When I met her, I knew automatically she was going to get bumped up and do something. It's too bad that she did quit the WWE because she would have been good. Like, I think they would have given her a really good push.
Yeah, I think so. As far as Jamie is concerned, she could have went far. She was competitive. I
She
mean,
could have.
she could hang.
Mhm.
Who is your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Well, my favorite wrestler ever has to be Shawn Michaels. I love the way he sells, and when I'm trying to sell moves and move around the ring, I think of him a lot. I mean, I do have to try to make it a little bit more feminine, but I do try to think of him a lot. Women-wise, I loved watching all of them. I loved watching Jazz. I loved watching Jacqueline. I loved watching Molly Holly. I loved watching Trish Stratus. I loved watching Lita. Obviously, I mean, I try to do a lot of high flying stuff that Lita did. So, I mean, there's always a bunch of them that I just love, but Shawn Michaels will always be my favorite. Chris Jericho's up there, too. Like, I absolutely adore him. Everything about him has just been amazing, his whole career. His whole charisma is just terrific.
Hey, Jericho, without a doubt, and Michaels, he's already a Hall of Famer. It's only a matter of time before Jericho gets inducted as well. He had a real good
Oh,
career.
definitely, definitely. I'd be so pissed if he didn't. I'd go and I'd knock on Vince McMahon's door and be like, "You're stupid for not putting Jericho in the Hall of Fame. Are you serious?" Plus,
Like,
I mean, there's a little bit of a crush. Chris Jericho's got to be one of the best-looking men in wrestling. I gotta say it. Like he really is.
all right, well, Lucky, what do you like being? Do you like being the baby face or do you like being the heel?
um, well, me personally, I actually enjoy being the heel because I do enjoy being kind of a bitch. It's fun for me because if you've ever met me in person, I'm actually a very fun, like, bubble person. I mean, I do have a little bit of an attitude, but I'm most of the time really, really nice. So it's fun for me to be a heel because then I get to show everybody that I can also be like that too. I enjoy being a baby face mainly just because, I mean, who doesn't want to be cheered all the time, you know?
Right.
But a heel's probably my favorite. I really do enjoy, like, doing all of that. And my offense doesn't really ever change with either one. Like, if I'm a baby face, I'm still doing head scissors. If I'm a heel, I'm still doing head scissors. If I'm a baby face or a heel, I'm still jumping off the top rope, you know? I don't really change it. I don't feel that I need to change my offense just based on if I'm a bad character, a good character, a bad guy, good guy. You know what I mean? I mean, I do a lot more hair pulling when I'm a bad guy, that's for sure.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as wrestling is concerned, do you have any upcoming matches you want to promote?
I actually do. This Sunday, October 9th, in Hollywood, California, it's NWA Hollywood's TV taping. It starts at 3 p.m., and it's on 614 La Brea Avenue in Hollywood. And it's for the TV taping for the month. So we film 4 shows, and in fact, I have 2 matches. So everybody should come on down and watch me kick ass.
Especially if you're in Hollywood area. So it's not.
Definitely in the Hollywood area, and it's at 3 p.m. So it's not, and it's Sunday. Like, come out and do something. It's not gonna make you stay out late or anything. It's a family show. You can come bring the family.
If I had a vehicle, I'd be up there because I'm down in San Diego right now.
Oh wow, really? Yeah, that is a long drive though. Still.
That ain't nothing.
Well, too bad. Take the bus. Take the train. Right. Come on.
Yeah. So.
No, taking the drive up there is not bad, but taking a bus or a train, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, the bus would probably be really.
Because see, what
bad.
I would end up doing is bringing all my shit and doing a show right from there. So.
Oh, I see.
All right. Well, Lucky, who are like some of your favorite matches that you have had, or to be more specific, who's like your favorite people you've wrestled against?
Rachel Summerlin's definitely one of my all-time favorites. That match is actually on YouTube. But probably my favorite people to wrestle against is a girl named Leva Bates in Florida. She's a Shimmer wrestler. She taught me so much when I was working with her in Florida. She's great. Like, she is one of those, like, someone that people don't really know, but they should. Like, they should watch her because she's very smart and she's very good. Also, Amanda. I do enjoy wrestling Amanda a lot. It's always fun because, she and I hit each other so hard sometimes, but it's like we enjoy it, we're hitting, and it's not like in a malicious way, so I love wrestling Amanda a lot.
Speaking of Amanda, for those that's listening on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, she will be our guest 2 weeks from tonight. So we'll hear from her 2 weeks. But in the meantime, you join us with Lucky O'Shea here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Why don't you tell the listeners your links and how people can get in touch with you?
My links? Well, you can hit me up on Twitter, which is O'Shea Lucky, or rather, at O'Shea Lucky, and I'm new to Twitter, so I need lots of followers. So everybody follow me. It's the @ symbol OSHEALUCKY. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me right now. And then I do have a Lucky O'Shea fan page on Facebook. All you have to do is search Lucky O'Shea, and that should come up.
Yeah, that's all with apostrophe and Shay on the Facebook side. But on the Twitter side, it's O'Shea Lucky, all put together, no apostrophes in the middle or anything like that. I also want to ask you this because we interview a wrestler you may be familiar with, Tara Calloway.
I love Tara. I bother her all the time.
Well, was it like having matches with her?
Tara's great. She's definitely new, but she's one of the young girls that really wants to learn, and she's really open to just about anything. So she listens really well in the ring, and I see great things coming from Tara, especially with how much her heart is into it. And she's just a good person. She's just a good human being. Like, you could never, ever get mad at her because she's just too nice.
Hey.
Like, she's just a really sweet girl.
And, yeah, she's definitely a sweetheart. She's got the Takedown Breast Cancer Project going on. Donate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's amazing. She's just such a sweet girl.
Not just a good wrestler, but also a great person. And just to do that on Breast Cancer Awareness Month, that's pretty cool. So
yeah, it really is.
So Lucky, before we end this interview, and I ask all guests to do this, it's called a like a station ID, a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. I will count to 3, and you go ahead and say it.
Okay, so wait. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
That is correct.
Okay, just making sure it's not too much of a tongue twister.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
This is Lucky O'Shea, and you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Was that nerdy or was that good?
That was perfect.
I wasn't too geeky or
Nah,
nerdy.
not at all. You was right on point. And I do want to say this because I know you heard my co-host Jeff. He loves redheads. Just thought I'd point that
Oh,
out.
sweet. It's
Yeah.
some people's guilty pleasure. I will admit it. I've gotten a
Yeah.
lot of people who just become more interested in me because I have red hair.
Yeah, I have this thing for redheads, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're up there and I'm down here, and that you're engaged.
Oh goodness, it's a little kind of
Just the
creepy.
way, well, just the way it is.
Yeah. Um, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and let you go, Lucky. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Best of success goes out to you, and you definitely welcome to call back again. You know.
Great.
All
All
right.
right. Well, talk to y'all soon.
All right.
See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
That was Lucky O'Shea joining us. We're gonna go ahead and get to the TNA portion show, and I don't understand why I can keep hearing myself in the background.
She'll hang up. Once she hangs up, it'll go
Oh,
away.
yeah. I keep noticing that the guest gets an echo even though the button's down.
Yeah, but I don't think she got it. I think it was just you.
Yeah, I heard it the whole
She
time.
didn't. I know she didn't say. I heard it too,
Yeah.
but I don't think she.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Well, as long as it didn't interfere, and she wasn't interfered at all, so it was
She
all
didn't
good.
seem to be bothered by
Nah.
it. So
Nah. Let's go ahead and get to the TNA portion of the show. We got about 13 minutes left. Last week on Impact, Hulk Hogan had an announcement to make. And what a shocker, knowing that he has to face Sting at Bound for Glory, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. He announced that he's going to be retiring from wrestling.
who? Say that again.
Hulk Hogan, last week on Impact, announced that after 30 years, even though he's supposed to have a match against Sting at Bound for Glory, he has announced that he's going to be retiring, and his farewell will be tonight. If that's the case, he should have retired 5-10 years ago. Good God. But you know Sting's going to make sure that
He's
doesn't-
not wrestling tonight, is he?
No, but he's going to be at wrestling at the pay-per-view. At Bound for-
Yeah, that's going to be his last wrestling match, right?
Yeah, obviously, but they just trying to make it out that he's going to have this retirement celebration, and Sting's probably going to interfere and say, you know what, you a man of your word. I beat Ric Flair a few weeks ago. Deal's a deal. You have your match against Sting at Bound for Glory, and after that, you go off your merry way. So Bobby Roode continues to face his current members of Fortune. He goes up against fellow Beer Money tag team partner, James Storm. So yeah, there you go. Jeff Hardy, according to TMZ.com, has announced that he has to begin his 10-day jail sentence. So don't expect to see Jeff Hardy tonight, unless they had tonight's episode taped weeks prior. And don't expect to see Jeff Hardy at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view neither. Which, by the way, we're making our pay-per-view picks next week. Our pay-per-view picks for Bound for Glory next week. So yeah, he's too hurt to be wrestling still. You're absolutely right. He has a back problem. Hogan does. The guy could barely move. If you watch,
Yeah, I know.
he could
I don't know
barely.
why the fuck he's going to wrestle.
Well,
He's going to hurt himself. Good time. That's going to be fun.
it's gonna be his last match, and we know that Sting's not gonna make this retirement happen. He's gotta be a man of his word.
Sting's got to beat the shit out of him. That's what's going to happen.
Sting is 52 years old, and he moves.
Yeah, and he's still fucking wrestling. What is
Yeah.
up with that, man?
At least he can move better than Hogan.
But come on. He's
Yeah.
52 years old. How old is fucking Ric Flair?
I'm somewhere in his 50s too.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a lot older than Sting, I believe.
Yeah. He's got to be in his 60s, Flair, right?
Yeah, and he had a match over a month ago against Sting, and he had a torn tricep. He's out of action for 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, no shit. That's what happens when you get old. That's why you shouldn't be wrestling past the age of fucking 45 or even 40.
Rocket Man says that I think Hogan's 58, or was that Flair's age?
Who gives a shit? They're old. They shouldn't be fucking wrestling. Hey, listen, I'm 45 years old. I can't do that shit. Okay?
The only problem is they don't, like we be saying for many months now, they don't have young talent to lean on. They don't have a lot of new superstars. They don't build new wrestlers. You still got some of your TNA originals like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels. They're like in their late 30s and
that
such.
place sucks. That's why I don't watch it.
Oh, and Rocket Man says that's Ric Flair's age. He's 58 years old. Sting is 52. Yeah, no wonder why he has a torn tricep.
You're 58 years old and you're flipping around and the fuck out of here, huh?
And the way that he got injured is that Sting put Flair over the top rope and did a superflex. That's how he got the torn tricep. It wasn't a body slam or anything like that. So there you go. Also tonight on Impact, the 4 ladies that will be facing off in the Bound for Glory pay-per-view will be in tag team action. It's going to be the Knockouts champion Winter teaming up with Madison Rain taking on Mickie James and Jeff's favorite Knockout Velvet Sky. Let the pigeons loose on that one.
Yeah.
She is hot. I ain't gonna lie. Velvet Sky, she's a hot chick.
She is a hot chick. I
Yeah.
can bang the living crap out of that. I'm honest, though. At least I'm honest.
Yeah, and Mickie James, she got the Pocahontas look right now. She's looking like Pocahontas. But she looks good. She looks good. Also tonight on Impact, Samoa Joe taking on Crimson. Believe it or not, Crimson is still undefeated. He's never been pinned. He's never been submitted. And Samoa Joe, who knows what the future holds for him. The rumors keep on kicking in that his contract is up in about a couple of months and he may not renew his contract. So who knows what the future holds for Joe. Who's a TNA original, by the way. But yeah, they gotta start relying on they gotta start making some new talent. How long they gonna have Flair, Hogan, and those other guys around? Until they're 100? Until they're 70 and 80? Gotta start relying on the WWE don't really have a lot of old people. They don't have a lot of people over the 50. Probably in the late 30s and they're probably in the early 40s. Somewhere from the 20s all the way to the late 30s. I keep hearing they have like an age limit for females. You can't be like older than this and such.
Yeah, but they let fucking guys wrestle until they're 80 years old. What kind of shit is that?
Well, TNA does more than WWE. They don't have a lot of old people.
That's good.
It's mostly between the late 20s into the early 40s. That's just my assumption. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the TNA side. There's going to be a lot of more updates on the WWE 12 video game coming out in November. There's going to be 2 versions of the WWE 12 video game. There's going to be the original version with Randy Orton on the cover. And then there's going to have one with The Rock on it as the collector's edition. But they're calling it the People's Edition. That's coming out sometime in November. That's going to be create an arena. You can create a wrestler. They're going to have over 50, 60 superstars, divas, and legends. And The Rock will be a playable character. That is if you, of course, pre-order the People's Edition with The Rock's face on the cover. See, WWE and THQ got together and they narrowed it down to John Cena or The Rock to be who's gonna have be the face of the collector's edition. You know, the all the exclusive stuff that you won't get in the original copy. Uh, and Rock got the more votes than Cena, so Rock is your winner. And speaking of The Rock, his movie with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker just came out. Furious 5. The fifth installment of Fast and Furious just came out on DVD. Like I said, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart DVD that's coming out later in October, and a Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD is coming out right after Thanksgiving. It will be Steve Austin's last WWE DVD look back into his career, and it's called The Bottom Line of the Greatest Superstar. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bottom line of the greatest superstar. Well, there's no denying he is. At least to me, he's the greatest in the WWE. At least since the Attitude Era, that was his era. So you bet you're gonna look back a lot of memories, a lot of matches, and so yeah, be on the lookout for that. There's still no word on who's gonna be up for the Tough Enough season. There's no word on who's going to be judges. There's no word on that. But Steve Austin has already confirmed there will be a new season of Tough Enough. There's just no word on it whether Booker T, Trish Stratus, and Bill DeMott will be coming back. I say Bill DeMott has a better chance of coming back than Booker and Trish. Booker is now commentator for SmackDown. Trish Stratus focusing on Yoga's stuff. So yeah, Tough Enough, a new Tough Enough is in the works right now. So yeah, be on the lookout for that probably after WrestleMania next year. And according to Alberto Del Rio, there may be a WrestleMania coming up in Mexico City, and WrestleMania 29, which will be in 2013. Obviously 2014 will be the WrestleMania 30. That will be in New York City because they have it like every end of the decade. They did have WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 10, WrestleMania 20, and obviously WrestleMania 30, which is coming up in 2014. But we know that next year's WrestleMania will be at Miami, Florida, home of The Rock.
Right.
Main event, Rock versus Cena. And Rock will be at Survivor Series next month. Everybody's anticipated that. Rock may be in action. He may actually wrestle. So we may have a prelude to Cena versus Rock at Survivor Series. And if that's the case, then it's probably like that traditional Survivor Series match, like a tag team elimination match or whatever. It won't be one-on-one. So there you go. I want to thank Lucky O'Shea for joining us. Thank you everyone else for listening. Next week we'll make our picks for Bound for Glory pay-per-view and an interview with indie pro wrestler Fantasia, not to be confused from American Idol singer Fantasia. Just want to point that out. You all have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Don't forget Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we'll see you this Saturday, next week. This coming Saturday, I should say. And we'll see you next Thursday right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You know where to listen. Right here on itmiradio.com. Thank you once again. And you all have a good evening. TNA Impact is coming up for those who care. Oh, and Mickey James is going to be a special guest on Amber O'Neil and Angel Orsini's show, 3-Way with Fire and Ice, at 11 p.m. Eastern. That's right after Impact. So there you go. Just thought I'd get the last promotion here. So thank you all once again. It's now 9 o'clock. It's my time to end. Good night, everybody. Peace out.